Manchester City supporters once again find themselves in days of expectation and tension as the behind-the-scenes action of the transfer window continues to heat up. Just when many believed the club had finished its activity, a twist emerges that could change the entire season. One of the major stars, valued at around $86 million, is said to have instructed his agents with a clear mission: to find a new destination after talks with City's board. This decision alone has set off alarm bells at the Etihad Stadium, as it opens the door to a move that could deeply alter the direction of Pep Guardiola's squad. Meanwhile, the Premier League landscape allows no respite. Arsenal steamrolling rivals, and Liverpool displaying offensive strength force City to react in order not to lose ground in the title race. The recent defeat to Tottenham left scars, and every wasted point could prove fatal in such a balanced league. Guardiola knows his side need adjustments, and the window still being open represents a golden opportunity to strengthen key areas. Among the most talked-about names, Gianluigi Donnaruma's grows ever louder. The Italian goalkeeper, European champion, and PSG standout, is believed to have already held initial talks regarding personal terms. Should this deal go through, it would be a true bombshell in the market, repositioning City as the absolute favorite in all competitions. However, rumors surrounding this possible arrival remain divisive. While some insist the deal is close, the club itself denies any contract has yet been signed. The doubt over Donnarumma is directly linked to the future of Ederson. The Brazilian goalkeeper, a reference point in recent years, has been the subject of increasingly strong speculation, particularly with Galatasaray's interest. His possible departure would open space for the arrival of a marquee name, but it would also raise questions about the trust placed in youngsters such as James Trafford, who started the opening matches of the Premier League. The goalkeeper position, which has long been synonymous with stability at City, has suddenly become the central talking point of the season, and it is not only in goal that the board are active. One of the most delicate points concerns the future of Rodrigo, the Real Madrid forward. Although the Brazilian still appears as an important piece in Carlo Ancelotti's plans, rumors suggest he may have indicated to his representatives a desire to seek new challenges. The price demanded by the Spaniards, around $86 million, makes any negotiation complex, but that does not stop clubs such as City, Arsenal, and Liverpool from keeping a close watch on the situation. Rodrigo, despite his young age, already carries an enviable track record of decisive matches, titles, and memorable performances. His versatility in attack and ability to deliver on big nights attract Guardiola's attention, who sees in him a potential heir to stardom at the Etihad. Yet the factors complicating the deal are clear: a high salary, emotional ties to Real Madrid, and the simple fact that Ancelotti still considers him essential. It is no coincidence that the manager has fielded him in recent fixtures, reinforcing the message that the forward remains part of Madrid's project. Even so, the background remains lively. People close to the player claim he would love to be coached by Guardiola, though he would not rule out reuniting with Arteta at Arsenal or embracing Arne Slot's project at Liverpool. In other words, Rodrigo is keeping several doors open, and until a concrete resolution emerges, this saga is set to continue gripping fans and journalists alike. While this drama unfolds, another possibility is gathering pace: the arrival of Marc Guehi, the Crystal Palace center-back, who is also a Liverpool target. Young, talented, and valued at around $35 million, the defender is seen as a smart investment, particularly because Ake and Akanji have attracted interest from clubs such as Everton and Galatasaray. Should one of those pieces depart Manchester, Guehi's arrival could restore balance at the back and maintain the quality standards demanded by Guardiola. Guehi himself, in recent interviews, has not hidden his admiration for John Stones, whom he described as his dream partner. That admiration further fuels the notion that wearing City's sky blue shirt would be a dream come true for the defender. Although Liverpool appear ahead in talks, it is no secret that City tend to act swiftly and decisively in the final moments of the window. On the other hand, the Manuel Akanji case remains an unknown. The Swiss defender, a key figure in crucial moments of the Guardiola era, may be on his way out. Crystal Palace have tabled an offer of around $15 million, a figure that meets City's minimum asking price. The question is whether the player will accept the challenge of leading the defense of a less high-profile club or prefer to stay and fight for minutes in Manchester. Galatasaray are also in the mix, offering a different experience and attractive wages. In the final stretch of the window, every detail could trigger a domino effect. If Akanji really leaves, the hunt for Guehi could intensify. If Ederson confirms a move to Turkey, the Donnarumma deal may be fast-tracked. And if Rodrigo decides to leave Madrid, the battle between City, Arsenal, and Liverpool promises to be one of the market's most thrilling contests. The truth is, right now, nothing is set in stone. What exists are talks, overlapping interests, and a race against time. Guardiola, known for his obsession with planning, is closely watching every move, fully aware that the right signing could be the difference between lifting the trophy or watching a rival celebrate in May. Amid this whirlwind of information and uncertainty, City supporters are torn between anxiety and anticipation. On one side, there are those urging patience, arguing that the squad is already one of the strongest in the world and that any reinforcement would be nothing more than a luxury. On the other, there is a faction demanding immediate signings, fearing that Liverpool and Arsenal are already a step ahead in their planning. This divide grows sharper with every rumor published by the press, where even the smallest detail is turned into a headline capable of stirring the backstage atmosphere. The case of Ederson, for example, illustrates perfectly how small movements can spark huge debates. The Brazilian goalkeeper has been a central figure in recent triumphs. Yet rumors of a possible move to Galatasaray refuse to die down. At the same time, James Trafford is gaining ground as an option for the future, whilst Stefan Ortega continues to wait for opportunities. Guardiola, who has always placed great value on defensive security, sees this as a dilemma. Should he trust in experience or pave the way for renewal? This uncertainty makes Donnarumma a strategic name, but it also makes clear that City will not rush into a decision before the right moment. The Rodrigo situation carries even greater complexity. The Brazilian has already enjoyed moments of glory at Real Madrid, starring in decisive Champions League matches, yet he faces ongoing pressure to show more consistency. At City, he would have the chance to thrive in a system built on mobility, positional interchanges, and attacking intensity. Guardiola sees in him the potential to rejuvenate the forward line without sacrificing technical quality. However, for this idea to become reality, there would need to be a perfect alignment between the player's will, Madrid's financial demands, and City's readiness to invest heavily in the closing stages of the window. Arsenal and Liverpool are no less involved in this race. Arteta's side, who continue to grow season after season, view Rodrigo as a player who could add depth and raise competitiveness on the flanks. Meanwhile, Liverpool, undergoing reconstruction under Arne Slot, are seeking players capable of sustaining the Reds' attacking tradition. In this scenario, the Brazilian has become a coveted target, and it seems that each conversation has the potential to completely alter his destiny. At the same time, Guardiola also keeps a watchful eye on Marc Guehi. The English defender represents more than just a replacement. He embodies the future of the back line. At just 25, he has already shown reliability at Crystal Palace and earned a place in the England squad. City recognized the potential of having him alongside Stones, Gvardiol, and Ruben Dias, creating one of the most solid defensive units on the continent. Liverpool's interest adds a special spice to this battle, turning the negotiations into an extension of the rivalry on the pitch. In Manuel Akanji's case, the decision seems to be drawing closer. The player knows he has a market and could become a key figure elsewhere, but he also recognizes that wearing the City shirt means fighting for trophies on a constant basis. This duality weighs heavily on his decision. Crystal Palace view him as the natural replacement for Guehi, whilst Galatasaray are putting forward a financially tempting proposal. Should Akanji depart, City's board will need to act quickly to avoid a significant gap opening in such a sensitive area as the defense. Amid all these speculations, the title race continues. Arsenal and Liverpool are showing consistency, winning convincingly and maintaining a rapid pace. City, on the other hand, feel the pressure not to lose ground on the leaders. Guardiola knows that, in such a competitive Premier League, any slip-up can prove costly. This is why the closing stages of the transfer window take on such importance. The right signing could provide not only squad depth, but also the confidence required to tackle the challenges ahead. Another issue hovering over the Etihad is the psychological impact of these rumors on the current squad. Players such as Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, and Jack Grealish are following developments closely, fully aware that new arrivals could alter their roles in the team. Rodrigo's arrival, for instance, might reshuffle the attacking hierarchy. A defensive signing like Guehi would directly affect the competition for minutes among center-backs. This competitive environment can be healthy up to a point, but Guardiola must manage it carefully to prevent internal friction. From the supporters' perspective, the feeling is one of curiosity and expectation. Every update concerning Donnarumma, Rodrigo, or Guehi is followed with near-obsessive attention. Social media has become a battlefield of opinions. Some dream of a star-studded attack, others prefer to reinforce defensive stability. There are also those unwilling to contemplate Ederson's departure, convinced that his leadership and experience are irreplaceable. This diversity of viewpoints only highlights how City have become more than ever a global club, with millions of fans worldwide watching every step the board takes. What does appear certain, however, is that the final days of the window will be full of drama. City, no strangers to springing surprises, are not ruling out any strategic move. Guardiola, ever demanding, has already made it clear that the club must match his own ambition on the pitch. The board, aware of the pressure to deliver silverware, know they cannot afford to miss the chance to strengthen the squad. The season will be long, and every detail could prove decisive. With so many factors at play, it is no exaggeration to say that this could be one of the most important transfer windows in Manchester City's recent history. The club has already proved, in previous seasons, that it knows how to invest wisely and turn strategic signings into cornerstones of success. There is no shortage of examples. Ruben Dias arrived at a moment of need and became the backbone of the defense. Jack Grealish faced criticism at first, but matured and turned into a key figure in the attacking system. Now, the challenge is to replicate this pattern in a short window filled with fierce competition. The dilemma surrounding Ederson may be the most symbolic of this transitional phase. He is not just a goalkeeper. He redefined the role within English football, transforming build-up play and long passes into lethal weapons for Guardiola's style. Replacing him is no simple task, and that is why Donnarumma's name generates such expectation. The Italian is young, already experienced at the highest level, and, above all, transmits calm in moments of pressure. Even so, the negotiation with PSG carries obstacles, and City must weigh up whether it is worth plunging headfirst into this investment or relying on internal solutions. James Trafford, for instance, represents the new generation of English goalkeepers and has already shown character in his early appearances. Making him the first choice would be risky, but not impossible, given Guardiola's history of trusting promising youngsters. Ortega, meanwhile, is reliable, though perhaps without the same aura of leadership required to spearhead a side fighting for the Champions League. In this context, the goalkeeping debate becomes a reflection of the club's philosophy. Should it bet on renewal or secure stability with an already established name? While the defense and the goalkeeper position occupy the headlines, the Rodrigo saga continues to fuel conversations among supporters. The Brazilian possesses traits that delight Guardiola: pace, close control, improvisation, and the ability to deliver in big matches. His profile reflects the coach's pursuit of players capable of breaking lines and offering movement options in attack. The problem is that, at Real Madrid, he still enjoys strong backing from both the board and the fans, and any attempt to prize him away requires not just money, but also political skill. There is also the question of the player's own desire. Sources close to Rodrigo say that he is not unhappy in Madrid, but that he views favorably the chance to play in the Premier League, where he might have greater scope to shine individually. This ambiguity fuels daily speculation and gives the impression that each week brings a different version of the story. At times, he seems determined to leave. At others, he insists he wishes to remain at the Bernabeu. This roller coaster of information piles pressure on everyone involved and keeps the fans on edge. At the same time, Pep Guardiola knows he cannot be swayed solely by the glamour of big names. Marc Guéhi, for example, may not carry the same media appeal as Rodrigo or Donnarumma, but he could prove a vital tactical piece. His arrival would immediately address potential defensive issues should Ake or Akanji depart. Moreover, investing in Premier League players reduces the risk of adaptation, since Guéhi is already accustomed to the pace and intensity of English football. It is precisely this kind of pragmatic signing that can make the difference in a long and draining season. In Akanji's case, the final decision is likely to come in the dying moments of the window. The Swiss defender finds himself at a crossroads. Remain in a star-studded squad, fighting for minutes and competing for trophies, or become a leading figure at another club willing to hand him more responsibility. Crystal Palace's offer already meets City's demands, but the question is whether the player is ready to take that step. Galatasaray, with its history of attracting seasoned players, also appears as an option, promising continental exposure through the Champions League. For City's board, the priority is to avoid departures leaving gaps in the squad. Guardiola insists on depth in every position, as his playing style is exhausting and relies on constant rotation. Losing Akanji or Ake without a suitable replacement could disrupt defensive balance. Likewise, Ederson's exit without a world-class goalkeeper coming in would breed uncertainty in a team used to absolute confidence in its back line. The fans, in turn, watch it all unfold as though it were a soap opera playing out in real time. Every report of agent meetings, every detail on personal terms or transfer fees becomes a talking point across social media. Some believe Donnarumma should already be at the Etihad. Others argue that Rodrigo is the missing piece to unlock the attack. There are also those who see Guéhi as the practical solution to save the defense this season. Deep down, everyone shares the same desire: to see City remain at the summit, challenging Liverpool and Arsenal until the final day. As the days tick by, the window draws to a close and tension mounts. Guardiola, who usually plans everything meticulously, faces this uncertainty as an additional challenge. His ability to handle external pressures will once again be tested, for the season waits for no one. Key fixtures remain on the calendar, and the team must stay focused on the pitch while negotiations play out off it. And that's it, City fans. The final stretch of the transfer window promises to be electrifying, with possibilities ranging from the goal to the attack, involving complex negotiations and decisions that could shape the course of the season. Donnarumma, Rodrigo, Guéhi, Ederson, Akanji, each name carries a story that could directly impact the club's future. While Liverpool and Arsenal push on in the race, we know that Guardiola and the board will stop at nothing to keep City at the very highest level. Now I want to hear your opinion. Which of these moves do you think would be most important for our squad? Rodrigo's boost in attack, Donnarumma's security in goal, or Guéhi's consistency in defense? Leave your thoughts in the comments, because your voice is part of this community. If you've made it this far, don't forget to leave a like. It really helps the channel grow and bring you even more breaking news about our Manchester City. And of course, if you're not yet subscribed, make sure to do so now and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss any updates about the greatest club in the Premier League. A big hug, and see you in the next video with much more information about our city.